as a new business owner, having something like the Pure Bookkeeping System in your pocket, I mean, I wish I'd had it on day one, because there was a lot of stuff that I had to learn on my own before, for 2 years before we got Pure, things that I had to figure out for myself, even around, HR, sales and marketing. But the tools are there. So if you're brand new and you're trying to start a business and you're like, okay, what do I do? The systems are there. It's like, here's how to get new clients. It walks you through. Here's the things that you can do.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. I am your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be a great one. Our guest is the co-founder of virtual bookkeeping company Financely. Among other things, she is an expert in e-commerce bookkeeping. Teresa Slack, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Michael. It's great to be here today.
Well, it's great to have you. And I'm looking forward to just having a conversation and understanding how you are doing through this very interesting time in the world.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting times. There's lots of stress for a lot of people. There's also lots of opportunities. Some people are doing quite beautifully through this, and others are really struggling. And anybody in the accounting and bookkeeping world, hats off to everybody, because all of us are doing our very best to support businesses everywhere that are shutting down, that have had to lay off people, who really need help navigating what's going on and all of the benefits that are being offered and what are they eligible for and how do we help them. So I know that everybody in the accounting world right now is really kind of being a superhero for their customers, and hats off to all of them. So
yeah, it's remarkable, and just hearing so many different groups and people supporting each other. I mean, that's what makes it such a great community. For yourself, where have you had to lean on others in terms of your own business? I mean, you're helping others, but what about your business?
Well, actually, there's a few key people in our community who have been doing a really great job of distilling all of the information that is coming out into information that we can use for our clients. And I've been really heavily relying on them. We have a couple of people in our community that have actually read the entire act, and they know who they are if they're listening to this, and have highlighted it and have distilled it into information that we can all use. And that's actually what I've been relying on. I take that and then compare it back to the CRA site. And then we have been really upping our communication with our clients. So we're doing bi-weekly updates. So twice a week, we're sending an update on exactly what's happening, what benefits are out, what information has come out. And then we're doing one-on-ones with every client every week to touch base with them, talk to them. How are they doing? What's happening? How can we help them more? Because a lot of them actually need more help right now, trying to navigate, how do they deal with staff? So that's really what we've been focusing on. And kind of everything else has been put on hold. It's like, take care of our clients, help them get through this. If they have to lay people off, help them make that happen. That's really been our focus for at least the last 2 to 3 weeks.
It's a valuable way of thinking about it in terms of cross-checking the information that you're getting.
Oh yeah, you have to. It wouldn't even be fair to the person that provided the information if I just took that information and just said, well, because so-and-so said so. That's not fair to them. It's my job to validate that information and not really put that pressure on the person that's just trying to help everybody. So checking it against the systems and sending it back I think it's the right way to do it. So, yeah.
And how about your staff? I mean, you have several staff that work inside your business. You have your your business partner. How have they been keeping up?
I think the stress is a little difficult for everybody. And the reality is it isn't necessarily business stress that's happening. There is that, but everybody's got their families at home. I have members of our team with young children, with teenagers, so they're now trying to navigate, much like you, Michael, having the whole family around and trying to continue to do all the things that you need to do and support your children if they need to be in school, and you're trying to take care of the education of your children and having everybody there. Spouses are there, everybody's working. So there's, quite a bit of pressure, I think. So again, what we've been doing is really regular meetings with them, the entire team. So we do a Monday meeting every Monday with a whole rundown. Here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. Here's how this affects. And then we do one-on-one meetings as well. I think the one thing that is helping keep things kind of have a bit of normalcy to them, honestly, is using the Pure Bookkeeping System, because they can go in, check how to do something, follow the processes. We have everything from Pure Bookkeeping in Jetpack. So all their workflows are there. So they've got added stress, they've got added worry. The workflows that we have allow them to just open up the workflow, go step by step, do the job that needs to be done, and move on. So I think having really well documented processes and procedures and systems in place at a time like this has really been an advantage for us. Like, it has really made our lives so much easier if we didn't have them.
Absolutely. And thanks for bringing it up. And it's Pure Bookkeeping. Maybe say a little bit for many of hear Pure Bookkeeping in our podcast. They may not even know what Pure Bookkeeping is. In your words, what is Pure Bookkeeping?
Oh, it is a lifesaver. So I guess to describe it, it is a system that you can put in place to run your entire bookkeeping firm. Whether it's, a bookkeeping firm you've had for a while, but you want to take it to the next level, or you're trying to start a bookkeeping firm and you want to start out with all the right systems, all the right processes, and you want to do really high quality work and have a whole system behind you that has been pre-designed by top-notch professional bookkeepers. So that the systems that you're putting in place are going to set you up to be doing high quality work. And that's actually kind of why we got it. At the time, my story. At the time, we had hired some staff that were not the right fit. And at the time, instead of recognizing, okay, they're just not the right fit, we thought, okay, well, what we need is better training. We need better processes. We need, documented procedures. And we were, we'd only been in business about 2 years at that point, and all the knowledge was actually in Connie's head and my head, all the processes. So I kept trying to find time to, how do we document all that? How do we get all of that really, really important high quality work out of Connie's head and into processes that our growing team can use? And then I met you and heard about Pure Bookkeeping. And it was like the solution. The processes are there. The high quality work is there. And what was really surprising, and it wasn't the reason we bought it, but once we got the system, realizing that there was so much more to it, where, you've got a whole module on HR. How do you, everything you need to do to hire the right people, to bring them into your company properly. And then there's a whole sales piece to it. How do you get new clients? How do you reach out to accountants? So there's so much more to it than what our original problem that we were trying to have an immediate solution for. So I don't know if I did a very good job at describing it.
It's fantastic. And sometimes, I lead that company in North America, and it was founded by two wonderful people that are Australian, and Peter Cook and Debbie Roberts. And I had the fortune to work with them in 2010 when they launched Pure Bookkeeping, and then in 2013 brought it to to Canada and grew the Canadian marketplace and then the United States. And now we have so many wonderful licensees like yourself. But I often don't talk too often about Pure Bookkeeping on the podcast because I don't want it to be salesy. I don't want to be, those sorts of things. So it's nice to talk about it, even though I probably seem uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's a bit of one of those human condition things, but it is remarkable what we've built, and to see, even though there's many that are in a time of challenge right now, it's wonderful to see that what we've built has made a difference for people like yourself and so many others that have that in place to help them run their business more efficiently and more effectively. It's great when things are great, but it's even better when things are challenging because it's that edge that you need. And so thank you for sharing that. And, just listening to you talk about it and reflecting over the last couple of weeks, I mean, we literally rebuild Pure Bookkeeping, the systems and the parts of it, almost on a yearly basis from top to bottom, it seems, because things change so rapidly. And I mean, things will change now with more technology coming, people embracing technology. And so in probably 2017, we started to talk about more virtual bookkeeping and remote, some of that area that you excel in, e-commerce bookkeeping, but helping our licensees build and have workflow and system inside of a remote bookkeeping business. Well, I mean, we did it at the right time. It's, looking back, because that's what is extremely in need of right now is running your business virtually.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so necessary. And I'm excited to see I've been playing with the US one because I know you launched in the US with the virtual one already, but you haven't quite got the Canadian one launched yet. So I'm pretty, I don't think, right?
It's not yet. Almost. Well, we'll see how long it takes to get that in today's climate. Everybody's busy working on the current state of the nation here, but nations, we should say, which is crazy, absolute crazy. So the priorities shifted a little bit, but we rewrote the United States QBO, so QuickBooks Online, rewrote that from a completely virtual standpoint, and then did another rewrite for Australia, and now working on the third revision, which will be Canada. And every single rewrite takes us months to do. We have several bookkeepers that work on it from different areas of the country, and then we iterate and refresh and rewrite. So each time we've launched, there'll be new updates to the United States, new updates to Australia, and new updates, and then we'll do it all over again, probably, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, that's one of the great things, though, is that you are keeping it current, and that's how it continues to be a super valuable tool. Certainly we got it 2 years ago, I think, and you would think that, okay, I've read the procedures, we're good, we're done. No, you're constantly bringing in more, constantly revamping it so it's current. And where I'm really happy right now is I just hired 3 new people, Michael. We've added 3 people to our team in this mayhem.
Wow.
So my only saving grace is I was able to say, okay, here's your login for Pure Bookkeeping. Please go and take the training. And the amount of time that has saved me to get them up to speed because that's what we do. So that's how they learn to get up to speed. Well, how does Financially do an HST return? How does Financially set up a chart of accounts? How does Financially deal with missing receipts? It's all there because we're following those systems. And without it, honestly, I don't think I could bring 3 new people into our team right now dealing with all the things that we're doing if I didn't have Pure Bookkeeping System to do it with, honestly.
It's one of those things I love seeing every time there's a request to add new staff. I just absolutely love that because I know someone's business is growing and someone's providing another job in small business, which is just, it's one of the things that makes me leap out of bed every morning, almost every morning, is to go and help people like yourself do the work that you're doing. It's awesome. And it is a challenge as a business owner. I talked about the updates that we did. We didn't do those in a vacuum. We didn't just think, oh, gee, maybe we should be working it. We certainly knew because that's our industry, it's our business, but it was our customers asking for this. They wanted more resources to help them navigate the digital world, the virtual way of doing business that so many are going to. And it took the industry a while to sort of get there, but it almost seemed like overnight people went from, and it was, I think, fall of 2018 or 17. I'm mixing up my years here, but it was like overnight. People just all of a sudden, I am going to be doing everything as much as I can online. And so it was a bit of a rush, and it was a stressful time for us because we needed to build out all of these different pieces to the systems and process. And that was, I think in 2019, last year, we wrote 60 different standard operating procedures for cloud applications. So the HubDocs, the Receipt Banks, the Jetpacks, the Carbons of the world, all of those different apps, the Zooms, you name it, all these different components of what you as a bookkeeping business owner would use inside your business. And as there's a lot of them and there's a lot of different options. So it was not just us being ahead of the curve, I don't think, as much as it was our customers telling us, hey, you need to be here and these are the things that we need, and we did those things. And it feels good knowing that we have a community like that supporting us and directing us to help us be great for you as well.
Yeah, I love that part. I liked having a bit of input and helping a little bit with the US one because, of course, we've been virtual from day one. So we've always had to, when we got the system, we had to adjust it and say, okay, well, yes, it says set up these file folders. Well, we're not going to set up file folders. We're going to set up virtual folders. And so it's nice that it's actually being built out. So our new people, when they learn it, we don't have to say, well, yeah, but anywhere that it says, do this, don't do this, do that. So I love that you're doing that. And I like the piece I was able to use it with my new staff too, the apps, being able to say, go in and read the information on Jetpack, go read HubDoc, go read, because those are the ones that we're using. And then the other way that I've been able to use it is the apps that I'm not using. I can read through what you've got in there, and it really helps me understand, okay, well, maybe we should be looking at that one, right? Because it's kind of built out in there about each of the different apps. So it speeds up the time it takes me to look at different apps and, decide, is this something we should be doing or something we shouldn't be doing? Because we know we all have app overload.
App overload, absolutely. And I think what's interesting about that too is that for you, and you've been instrumental in directing a lot of the team that are building these things and also being involved in it, which has been fantastic, your take on things. But I really love that we've built these from how someone's using it in their business. So it's like you're using something in your business, it's working really well for you. Let's document that. Let's share that with others. But then once other people start using it, and they start sharing, so they're contributing to you. So it's really, we have this wonderful community of successful bookkeeping business owners now supporting each other and actually finding the quickest, fastest, most streamlined way of doing something with all these different tools, which reduces the amount of time to implement. You have greater success of actually implementing, using these tools, but as well a great evaluation tool, as you've mentioned, being able to go and look, well, is it Jetpack that I'm going to want to use, or Carbon, or am I going to want to use 17 Hats or ClickUp? I mean, there's so many different options, as well the feedback of what people are using, what's popular, how do they like it, how do they not like it? I mean, everybody has their own taste and what they want for their business. So that's been fun. It's been overwhelming for us to build them, but it's great knowing that it's providing less overwhelm for those that are going to actually be able to implement them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think back, and as a new business owner, having something like the Pure Bookkeeping System in your pocket, I mean, I wish I'd had it on day one, because there was a lot of stuff that I had to learn on my own before, for 2 years before we got Pure, things that I had to figure out for myself, even around, HR, sales and marketing, But the tools are there. So if you're brand new and you're trying to start a business and you're like, okay, what do I do? The systems are there. It's like, here's how to get new clients. It walks you through. Here's the things that you can do. So, I think Pure goes above and beyond, not just providing, actual task processes and procedures for providing exceptional bookkeeping, but it's also giving you the tools to build the business. And, if I'd had that day one, things would have moved faster. And I think that's the reality. You can do all of these things yourself. You can, but they're going to take you longer. And the reality is more heads are better than one. So I might think, okay, well, doing it this way is the best way. Well, we now have, I don't know how many people in our community, how many heads coming up with actually the fastest, best way for you to run a successful bookkeeping business. So I think that's pretty key.
It's pretty remarkable, and it's great to see you getting benefit from it. And I will say, it's been since 2013. So what are we at now in 2020? That's a good. I think this will be our 7th year. In the fall will be our 7th anniversary in North America, and year 7, even though it's a more challenging year on many fronts, is definitely easier than the other 7 combined, I think. Because with, it's like we times the Teresa Slacks of our community times, we're over 200 licensees in North America and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them in Australia, that it just helps. So like you just have all of these brains together. I mean, I sort of woke up to that one day going, wow, this is so, there's so many resources inside the community that we have help us to grow things and to improve things and to answer questions and to be supportive. I mean, it's so many different angles, so many different flavors of business owners out there and how they approach their own business. And so when we're on a call, one of our community calls, and we're chatting about a topic, you'll have an angle, like everybody solved it differently. Someone maybe did it from one choice of maybe being, well, what's the most efficient way of doing it? What's the most cost-effective way of doing it? What's worked? What hasn't worked? What were the challenges that they faced on one specific topic? So that's been pretty exciting to see that come over the last year or so, where it's really taking and caught some steam and some momentum. But, big thank you to the community in Canada, especially because there were so many that helped and joined when they were really the first. Like, they were the first people that came along, and, the experience for them is like, there are not many great people in the community. So it takes a lot of time to grow something like this, but now to see it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And, a year ago, you had started those community calls that we do every Friday, and it was just me and Connie and you. Right?
That's right. That's right.
For a long time, it was just the three of us, and then the word got out, and which is good. But at the same time, I kind of liked having you to myself every Friday. That was kind of nice.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, actually. And it's interesting how, in business, this is a lesson for everyone in business. It was something that we did, and we just stuck to it. And it was, I think it was just this mentality of just knowing that it's valuable, and if it's valuable for one, it must be valuable for others. And it took a while. It took a long while for it to actually get where this was valuable to people. You wouldn't think that would be the case, but it was. And so thank you for that as well, for being there and coming there, and still to this day. It's been going on now. I can't even remember how many months. Really, it's getting into years now that we've been doing that. And in the beginning, it was just, whoever showed up, but it was only just yourselves showing up, and it grew from there.
Yeah. And now we have on average about 20.
There's 20 to 25 people, anywhere from 15 to probably 25, and it just keeps getting bigger, seems, every week. And it brings together, I think the community in a way that they hadn't been brought together before, which was actually solving business problems with 25 other business owners from around North America. Incredible to have somebody in the far north of Canada talking to another bookkeeping business owner in the far south of the United States. I mean, we're talking continent end to continent.
Yeah.
Whichever way you're looking at the globe, whether it's bottom or top, both are equally as good. But from one end to the other, and many people would think, oh, well, this is how can a Canadian and an American look at something? There must be differences, but there's so many common grounds and ways to tackle things that both countries are able to benefit. It's like this new way of thinking, and it's something that I never thought would come out of that. But having somebody not necessarily know how you do business exactly is extremely valuable.
Yeah, and let's face it, the accounting equation is the accounting equation. So bookkeeping is bookkeeping. There is definitely differences, and that's where we can help each other and support each other. But a lot of it is still the same, and customers are the same no matter what country you're in. The specifics are different, but the challenges of owning a business is the same. Trying to support a business's financial needs, it's the same. So we really can help each other. And I have to say, I'm really glad that you did start doing those Friday calls, because before that, I didn't even know who was in the community. I knew who some of them were, but I didn't know a lot of them. And the Friday call has really created a relationship with them. These are people that I look forward to seeing and talking to. And there's so much resource sharing and idea sharing and problem solving that it's a great way to end the week every week. I really appreciate that you have stuck through and kept doing it for everybody.
Well, thank you, and it is my pleasure, and I enjoy them immensely, and I learn so much. It's an opportunity to just understand what people are dealing with, what they're going through, and be as supportive as I can from where that's going. It's culture, the community is paramount, and I think also another benefit that's come out of that is just really using Zoom a ton. I mean, everybody's using it. We've been using it for years now in the community to bring on video and get the video set up correctly and understand the intricacies of it. It's different. And so I think that's been helpful. People having sort of a taste of that before doing it. I mean, one of the Facebook Lives we did a couple of weeks ago with Jim Flaus, he had spoken about doing a Zoom meeting with 30 of his clients and having them on video and having conversations about what's going on in the economy and the different programs that are available. I mean, just incredible that he was ready because of the experiences that he was getting working in communities like Pure Bookkeeping. So, you never know when what you're doing is going to come and be valuable. What we do today is preparing us for what's to come tomorrow. And so, I think that's a great message to be thinking about right now, is that the winners of the game are the ones that stay in the game and keep to it, right? So it's like Friday calls, only 2 customers showing up. We just kept doing it, knew it was value, knew it would work, kept at it, and belief, faith, if you will, faith, yep. Knowing that that's going to go that way. And so, that's a message for all of our customers, your customers, is to have faith, to think about today and how we get through today, but as well know that keeping in the game and making sure that people are around to do the work that they need to do is what's going to have the winners be winning at the end of this. Yeah, for sure. And having good, for our own sake, having good systems in place so we don't have to focus on that part. We can just focus on taking care of the client, making sure that they're okay. So having our systems in place frees us to really focus on them, knowing that the other stuff is happening, knowing that, the HSTs are getting filed and the bank accounts are getting reconciled. Let's focus on really helping them through. We want to save as many small businesses as we possibly can. And I know that that's probably the mission of every single bookkeeping and accounting professional that's out there, is they're doing everything they can every day to support and save and keep healthy as many businesses as we can. And I know
a lot of people are getting thanked and should be thanked right now. And, without all the healthcare workers doing everything that they are doing every day, and without, the grocery store staff and everybody who is, keeping the rest of us healthy and safe, they all need to be congratulated and thanked from the bottom of our hearts. But I also think the accounting community as well needs to be really thanked and appreciated for everything that they are doing to try and help keep Canadian businesses running and supporting them in the way that they needed these really difficult times. So I'll just give my hats off to everybody in the community for all that they're doing.
Absolutely. And right across the border as well in the United States. I mean, it's what makes our countries great, our small business owners. I mean, it is the dream. And so it's like we look out our window right now, and what do we see? I mean, well, in Canada, we're pretty rural often. You're probably seeing trees and stuff like that. But just up the road, there is a main street. And that main street is the heart of the community. And so the nurses don't have a place to buy their lunch. The doctors don't have a place to buy the gas. Fix their car, all of it. It is often forgotten how essential small businesses are in our communities. And this is a time where the spotlight's on them. And yes, difficult times, challenging times, but thankfully, we have great bookkeepers, great accountants out there helping people, many often doing it so much more for so little.
Oh, yes.
And that is, in a better day, we talk about, understanding value and the value of things. But right now, it's more important to what I hear in the community is it's more important to help business owners and help their businesses get through this than anything else. And so that's why I love the community. So thank you, Teresa, for doing that great work. Thank you, your business partner, for Connie, who also works with you, for doing that work.
Thank you.
And thank all of you, the listener right now. You might be challenged. You might be going through difficult times. So we thank you. Take a deep breath. The work you're doing is valuable. The work you're doing has an incredible future. It will only get better. And so keep at it and stay in the game. Help as many that you can stay in the game. And we will have a strong economy at some point because of that work. And it will be, no one will probably thank you for it, unfortunately, but I will. Teresa will.
We will.
We will. And we'll know, and you'll know. You'll go to bed knowing that you are that person who made a difference, even though it often is a thankless job. And so that's what it is, right?
Yeah, it is. It makes a difference. And I think any of their customers will recognize it too. They'll know who helped them.
That's right. That's right. Well, this has been absolutely a pleasure. I want to thank you so much. We took the direction into talking about pure bookkeeping, which we don't do that often on the podcast. I thank you so much. It's so generous of you to share how it's worked for you and how it's benefiting your business and making a difference for you. And I hope it makes a difference for others in their businesses. Yeah,
me too. If we can give them one little nugget to help them make their business better, I think it's good to share that information so that people know that there are things out there that can help them make this a little bit easier for them.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again for your generosity in being here again on the podcast.
You're very welcome, Michael. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. And with that, we wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.